Hello everybody, welcome to a new series of tutorials on the latest effect released by Nembrini Audio. It's a shimmer delay ambient machine effect. It's an UV-free, compliant, and as usual I have a number of codes to give away. So if you are interested, please follow the instruction contained in the video description. And also, to make it easier to understand if you have won or not, I will be updating just the video description. So please check that. You don't need to check anymore the comment section. So let's start. I'm inside the AUM. So let's create an audio channel and let's, for simplicity, load something like, why not, a grand piano. Let's connect the keyboard, the AUM keyboard, and let's bring it up as well. And as you can hear, we have a normal grand piano. So let's add the effect now. Let's search for Shimmer, like so, delay. And here we are. We have two versions, and let's choose the audio unit instance. Okay, let's double click on it, double click to maximize it. As you can see, there are a number of sections. First of all, on the top, you have the usual Nembrini audio interface, very straightforward, where you have a selection of preset, like so. Okay, then you can go forward and backwards on the preset. You can redo, undo, and you have two states that you can save. Okay, you can also save and load or delete your preset as well, and you have also access to a menu like so. In terms of main effect, you have a swell effect or section here. At the moment is not engaged, the power is off. You have a delay effect, an octave effect, a shimmer, and a dry wet section on the screen. So let's start with lowering down completely the shimmer effect, the same on the octave, and let's leave the delay working, and we have power off on the swell. So if we click on a note, so you can hear the delay. Here is where you set the timing, of course. So it will be faster if I lower. Okay, so for example, if I put 1/8. Okay, at the moment it is in division because the sync is on, so it will sync with the bits per minute inside the AUM. You have an offset here dial that create offset between left and right channel to spread the stereo channel, which works really nicely. So you can hear it, of course, if you have headphones on. You can increase the feedback. As you can hear, it will stay on longer. So your feedback, look, you have more input. If you double click on the dial, it goes back to the default. You can lower, you can cut lower frequency with this dial where it says a lower cut, and you have the frequency below. If you switch down to the minimal, is off. And you can also cut high frequency, and you can switch it off, of course, if you move it up to maximum, because you're not cutting any higher frequency. So if I was to cut higher frequency, I will do that, and if I was to cut lower frequency, I will increase it like that. And those comes particularly handy as the effect becomes more complicated. Now let's move on to the next section. You have one octave lower. So let me show you what it does as I play a note and then increase the level. So it plays an octave below. Here you have a regen, as it says on the title, dial, and this controls the amount on the feedback loop. So you can hear last longer. Let's reset it. Now let's move this down to 0, and now let's go to the shimmer part. Here you have level as always. You can add some distortion. You can also decide how many semitones you want to go up in terms of that shimmer effect. And also the regen works in the same way as per octave. So it controls the intensity on the feedback loop. So let's try. At the moment it's moving up by 5 semitones. You can hear I moved it up now. Let's increase the regeneration. Let's add some distortion. So you can hear the effect. Okay, let's lower this down to a minimal. You have a dry-wet section on the screen, very simple in terms of mixing dry and wet. Of course, if it is right on 100%, you have only wet effect. And the last part which I haven't mentioned is the swell section of the effect, which is it's here right at the beginning. And this is you can establish the amount of time that it will take for the signals to move to the right level. So it's like an attack. It gives you that the ability to create those slow movement up in terms of sound. And you can enable it here. At the moment it's set in subdivision because it's synchronized to AUM bits per minute, and you can establish the sensitiveness. Okay, so for example, if it is lower, it works better for staccato, for example, playing, and then you can decide the ramp mode for the signal to go up to the right level, and it can be linear, logarithmic, or exponential. So let's try. So you can hear it takes a quarter of the division to go up. Let's decrease that. You can also force it to apply the effect also on dry. So really interesting. So let's try it now with a different instrument. So let's, for example, load a chameleon from 4 pockets. Great up. So let's connect the keyboard again, and let's go inside and choose a sample. For example, a guitar sample, a classical guitar. So let's disable the effect for a moment. This is what it sounds like. Let's re-enable it now. And let's go through some of the presets. So let's go to the factory preset and let's choose ambient guitar. Let's try it. Really nice. So remember, click on the plus sign and you go to the next preset. Okay, really good. So let's try again a different type of preset. So for example, let's go to a pad and like the 80s layer. Let's change the preset again. Fake sax. Really interesting. Let's change to this fake violin. So you can create some really interesting effect and sounds. So hopefully you found this initial tutorial interesting, and as always, see you next time. Bye.